The dark side of the Futures Tour. Why the world's 500th best player is probably sleeping in a car. Tennis is the sport of kings. It is the sport of country clubs, strawberries and cream, pristine white outfits, and Rolex commercials featuring Roger Federer looking wistfully at a mountain range. When we think of professional tennis player, we picture private jets, entourages, and prize checks so large they need two people to hold them. But that is the 1%. Actually, that's the 0.1%. If you scroll down the rankings past the household names, past the Djokovic's, the Sabalenkas, and the Sinners, and land somewhere around the world number 400 mark, you enter a different universe. You enter the Futures Tour. Here, there are no private jets. There are middle seats on budget airlines. There are no ball boys. You pick up your own balls. There are no linesmen. You argue with your opponent about whether the ball was out while the referee is on a smoke break. This is the only job in the world where you can be the 400th best person on the entire planet at what you do, and yet you are losing money every single day you show up to work. Welcome to the financial meat grinder of professional tennis. The 500th best paradox. Let's put this in perspective. If you are the 500th best basketball player in the world, you are likely a bench warmer in the NBA or a star in Europe. You are making at a minimum $500,000 to $1 million a year. If you are the 500th best lawyer in the world, you own a yacht. If you are the 500th best cardiologist, you have a summer home in the Hamptons. If you are the 500th best tennis player in the world, you are likely sharing a Motel 6 room with two other guys to split the $89 nightly rate, and you are eating peanut butter out of a jar for dinner. The income inequality in tennis is sharper than almost any other industry on Earth. The top 100 players swim in a pool of gold. The rest are fighting over scraps. The math of misery. Let's break down the economics of a typical futures event, officially known as the ITF World Tennis Tour. These tournaments usually offer a total prize purse of $15,000 or $25,000. That sounds like a decent chunk of change, right? Wrong. That money is split between 32 players in the main draw plus the qualifying rounds. Let's introduce our hypothetical player, Gary the Grinder. Gary flies from London to a 15K tournament in Tunisia. Flight, $400. Budget airline with 3 layovers. Hotel, $500. 6 nights at a budget hotel. Food, $300. Gary is trying to eat healthy, which is expensive. Equipment, $150. Stringing rackets, tape, grips. Entry fee, $40. Yes, you have to pay to play. Total expenses for the week, about $1,390. Now, let's say Gary plays incredible tennis. He's in the zone. He reaches the semifinals. He's one of the last 4 men standing. A great week. His prize money before tax? Approximately $750. Gary just had a fantastic week at the office, beat 3 world-class athletes, and he's walking away with a net loss of $640. He literally paid for the privilege of entertaining the 12 people in the stands. If he loses in the first round, he gets about $150. That barely covers his taxi to the airport. The cost of being alone. The financial burden creates a competitive disadvantage that spirals. Top players travel with a team, a coach, a physio, a fitness trainer, and maybe a psychologist. The futures player travels alone. If Gary's back hurts, he stretches hit himself. If Gary's mental game falls apart, he talks to himself in the mirror. If Gary needs to scout an opponent, he has to watch them play while eating a sandwich in the stands. The loneliness is crushing. You're in a foreign country, you don't speak the language, you're losing money, and your colleagues are your enemies who are trying to take the same $400 paycheck you need to pay rent. Many players resort to staying with host families provided by the tournament to save on hotel costs. Sometimes this is great. Sometimes you're sleeping on a pull-out couch in a basement in rural Arkansas while the host family's cat sleeps on your face.
The darkest corner, the betting sharks.
This financial desperation creates the perfect breeding ground for the sport's biggest cancer, match fixing. Imagine you are Gary. You have $200 in your bank account. Your credit card is maxed out. You are playing a first-round match in a dusty town in Eastern Europe. You receive a direct message on Instagram from a faceless account. Hey, I know you're playing tomorrow. If you double fault the first point of the second set, I will wire you $3,000 in Bitcoin. No one gets hurt. You can still win the match, just lose that 1 point. $3,000. That is 6 months of prize money. That pays for your flights for the rest of the season. This is the dirty secret of the Futures Tour. The players aren't greedy criminals. They are desperate gig economy workers being exploited by organized crime syndicates. The governing bodies crack down on the players, banning them for life, but they rarely address the root cause: poverty. You cannot expect integrity when the system forces athletes to choose between eating and cheating. The dream tax. So why do they do it? Why do thousands of young men and women subject themselves to this financial torture? They do it for the golden ticket. They do it because if they can just grind enough points to break into the top 100, the door to the castle opens. Once you make the main draw of a Grand Slam, like Wimbledon or the US Open, a first-round loss pays about $80,000. One single match at a major pays more than 3 years of grinding on the Futures Tour. They are gambling with their youth. They are buying lottery tickets with their sweat and cartilage. They tell themselves, just one more year, just one more breakthrough. But the reality is, for every one player who escapes the future's quicksand to become a star, like a young Ben Shelton or Emma Raducanu, there are 1,000 Garys who retire at 26 with zero savings, bad knees, and a resume that says nothing but tennis player. The verdict. The ATP and ITF sell the dream, but they hide the receipt. The sport of tennis has a structural failure. It funnels 90% of the revenue to the top 1% of the players. It is a star-driven system that relies on a massive, starving underclass to fill out the brackets. The players on the Futures Tour are not hobbyists. They are elite athletes. They hit the ball harder and faster than you can comprehend. But the market has decided their skill is worth less than minimum wage. So the next time you watch a no-name player walk onto the court to play Djokovic in the first round of a slam, don't laugh when they lose 6-0, 6-0. Don't mock them, respect them. That player has likely slept in airports, taped up their own ankles, and eaten instant noodles for 3 years just to stand on that court for 1 hour. They aren't just playing a tennis match, they are fighting for their financial survival. And in my book, that makes them tougher than any billionaire with a Nike sponsorship. What do you think? Should the Grand Slams share more revenue with lower-ranked players to save the sport? Or is this just survival of the fittest? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more honest looks at the business behind the sports we love, smash that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it helps me afford something better than instant noodles tonight. Take a moment to check out the description for exceptional products and supplements aimed at enhancing your performance and use promo code YT20 for 20% off your first order. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more captivating content. While you're here, feel free to delve into our channel for other intriguing videos. See you in the next one.